Well, here we are then for 5 years in the future with Burnley. We're going to go through year by year. I want to know who's replaced me. I want to know who they've signed and who they've sold. And I want to see if they can keep up with our treble pace. It's going to be pretty difficult. Let's have a look. Well, here we are. I'm still unemployed. And we're going to have a look at Burnley. I want to see... available jobs Burnley. Hello. So whoever has replaced us hasn't lasted very long. Who was it out of interest? So history, managers. We'll get to league position in a minute. I can see that there as well. Luis Enrique. So the manager we beat in the Champions League final replaced us and then got sacked. That is quite funny. And all he won, spoiler alert here for those that are looking, Super Cup and Community Shield. That's all he won. Nope, sorry. Not good. Not good from Luis Enrique. I mean, look, the pace we set was pretty hard to match, but not good enough from him. Burnley then, form-wise, not good. Didn't even finish the Champions League places. 2 points off. Really poor. Were they just unlucky again? No, they weren't. They were actually lucky to finish 6th. That's not good enough. And I know that seems a little underwhelming to say that. That is poor. Really poor. Looking at the players in the team, what signings has he made? So Ashley Phillips we made. He's signed permanently. He's a good centre-half. Patrick Wimmer, he brought in from Wolfsburg. I don't know if I paid 72 million for a 29-year-old. Definitely wouldn't have, actually, the more I think about it. 4 goals, not very good. And then another one, I might have made this signing purely out of being a Brighton fan, but he's 31 years old now. Ferdy Kadioglu, I kind of get it as a fullback on both sides, something we didn't really have. In terms of sales, I mean, Marcus Edwards, yeah, fair enough. I think I probably would have sold him. Antonin Valier is a player that I didn't really ever talk about, but I had massive hopes for. He kept having good loan spells, and they've sold him to Birmingham. Sort of in the AI do is they'll just sell young players with talent. Paul Richards was another one. He looked like he was starting to run out of potential, but he was having good loan spells. I don't know why. I would have just kept him. 16 million is really good money, I guess. But if you look at his attributes, he's really quite capable. So, annoying, but we'll take it. Other than that, I see John Edwards isn't gone. That's my main one. He's a player I want to see how long they keep. Endrick is linked with Chelsea. It wouldn't shock me if they ended up selling him. Vieira's 30, I could see him moving. But Militic and Canafo's asked to leave because he's not played. What sort of game time has he got? 11 games. He only played 11 times. He made 4 appearances after having what is an unbelievable season before. That's really poor. I think Enrique messed this up big time. Big mistakes from Enrique. And then, I mean, look, who took over for us from the Champions League? That's what I want to see. So the league, Man City won pretty easily after we won it 2 years in a row. Champions League, though, I want to see how we got on in the Champions League. Let's get rid of all these league fixtures. Let's have a look at the Champions League. They lost PSG in the second knockout round. Oh, that's really poor. Really poor. I mean, lost 4-1 at home. Lionel Eklund playing. I mean, I might have sold Eklund, so I'm surprised he's playing there. That's not good. Got through the league stage fairly comfortably. I mean, a few losses means it was not great. We had to go through the first knockout round. Beat Inter Milan. Shout out to Season 3. And yeah, I mean, PSG's not an easy draw in that round, but should be doing better than that. That is poor. I'm not surprised then that Enrique got the old heave-ho. What about the FA Cup? Just have a quick nose. Lost in the 5th round to Sunderland, really? Oh, that is poor. Max Johnston, who I called Mike for quite a while. Max Johnston's gone, that wasn't enough. So, not ideal. Not ideal. It looks like he's kept the squad together, though, so it'll be interesting to see now. Go forward another year. I want to see... There's got to be some turnover, I think, in terms of the squad. There's going to be a fair few leaving, and I will be back with you to see, after Season 2, who's in charge and who they've brought in and let go, because I think there could be some big moves coming inbound. And here we are then, Season 2. What I'm not seeing is Burnley's an available job, so whoever's got it has probably done a decent job and held on to the job. So let's see where we finish the Premier League first. Progression into the Champions League spots again, that's good. It's nice to see that we're still in and around that area. Only a point off 4th, 10 points off the top of the table. I guess you could say there's progress being made. Although I'd say probably Man City had a poor season, so not so much. 11 draws, though. That is frustrating, really, because they should be better than that. Looking at the team, there's a couple of names I don't recognise there. Let's look at transfers first. Actually, let's see who's in charge first. Robin Van Persie's in charge. Okay, that's fun. I like that. So Van Persie's in charge. Has he been in charge the whole time? He has. He was brought in to replace Enrique. I like that. A younger manager. Although 48, younger-ish. He's coming. He was Atalanta manager. So yeah, he's done all right then so far. Let's have a look then. So what's he done transfer business-wise? So at the end of last season, did they do anything after the end of last season? They did one big bit of business, and I thought it was going to happen. Endrick has left Burnley. He's gone to Chelsea for £200 million in the end. I mean, look, £100 million profit. on a player who was fantastic. You can't really argue it. He only scored 5 goals in the season before, so really good business when you really look at it. He's gone to Chelsea, and that has probably allowed them to put a fair whack of money back in. Okay, interesting actually. First player in the list, Martin Claudio, was a player that I looked at when I was in charge from Sporting. I think he looks really good. I mean, obviously we can't see stars down here, but I mean, look, 19's all over the board. A really good midfielder. Although interestingly, I'm looking here. No, they haven't sold any of the central midfielders. They haven't sold Militic or Canafo. So interestingly, I wonder where he plays. But 41 million, probably a good deal. Is this backup goalkeeper? Yeah, we don't talk about those. Dean Huijsen, okay, interesting signing. He's already left. They've already sold him. They bought a player and sold him on. They sold Huijsen on to the Championship for... Right. He didn't even play. Now, we're going to have a conversation, Football Manager, about transfers being broken, because you wouldn't pay £32 million and then sell him having not played him at all. I mean, I know I did it with some players that didn't play much, but that seems unlikely. To take a £7 million loss 6 months later seems a bit stupid, is the only word I can think of. And then another midfielder, Alexander Pavlovic, I guess is the anchor in midfield. Not bad from Real Betis. Underwhelming business, if I'm being honest. Looking at the squad, who is still in and around. So John Edwards is on the bench. He's a name I want to keep an eye on over these 5 years. Hasn't really played. He hasn't started a game this season. Hasn't developed either. If I'm looking at his attributes, he hasn't really got better since we left. We're talking of players here. Anyone interested in Militic? Now, Militic is the name I want to see progress because he was world class when we left. I mean, that valuation, £300 million valuation potentially, seems a little high. Canafo also went to leave last year. Hasn't really played. Hasn't played what is that? Hasn't played at all this year. Literally not played a single game in the league. A player who scored 13 Premier League goals not playing is, I mean, frustrating isn't even the word. It's stupidity. I know they've got Militic, and I guess maybe he doesn't play a position in this system, but he could play in central midfield. I'd be playing Canafo. I'd be playing him. I mean, buying another midfielder feels silly when you had Canafo. Interesting. Miranda as well as another young player we signed. Doesn't look like he's kicked on particularly. Although I say that, he has played way more football than Canafo has. So maybe a little unfair there. And that's really it. Juma Bar as well still here. I mean, the two centre-backs are still together. I like that. They've kept a lot of that team together. I mean, out of that 11, there's what? 2 players that weren't there when I was there. So I can see it. I think it's gone well. Bremner seems to have stepped in as the striker now. And I mean, oh my God. He has developed even more. Only 11 goals. So I don't think this team generates enough chances. But decent enough. So the Premier League winners with Man City by the looks of it. Do you know what we didn't check last year? We didn't check the Champions League winners. Let's check that now. So that's Man City's fixtures. Let's have a look at Burnley's. I want to see how Burnley got on in the Champions... Well, they weren't in the Champions League actually this year, were they? So that would be an interesting one. I imagine they might have had a good chance at winning the... was it the Conference League? Oh, they were in the Champions League this year. How'd they get into the Champions League this year? No, they weren't in the Champions League this year. What on earth is going on here? The Europa League. They won the Europa League. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough performance. So I see why Van Persie was kept. 5th is a decent achievement as well, to be fair. Got all the way to the final. Beat Sporting, beat Lille, beat Liverpool on penalty. So a little sliver of luck there. And then in the final, win 1-0 through Claudio, the new signings goal. Fair enough. Fair enough all the way through. Niaka, I think, was a young player who came through under me. So interesting that he played as well. Good performance, good win there. So Europa League winners, I'll take that as fairness for the second season. So a trophy's been won after we've left. Let's have a look at the Champions League. The final hasn't actually been played yet, technically. Man City could go back-to-back against Frankfurt. I love that. I love seeing a team like Frankfurt in the final. If Burnley are going to win the Champions League, Frankfurt might as well have a crack at it. And Porto won it as well in the first season. Didn't even notice that when we were playing. So, interesting. I'm going to go forward another year now. I don't think there's anything too much more interesting to have a look at in this season. It will be interesting now to see if Van Persie can kick on and hopefully keep that young core together. Canafo needs to play, otherwise I think he probably will leave this summer. I wonder what will happen with him. He's a name to keep an eye on. He's a player I had hoped for. So, yeah, we'll come back in a year and see how we've got on in Season 3 after we've left. Here we are then, end of the 3rd season. Again, positivity. There's no Burnley manager available here. So, Van Persie, hopefully, is still in charge. Liverpool won the Champions League, so we know they haven't won that. But let's have a look here at the Premier League. Get me over to as quick as possible. Premier League. There we are. Burnley finished 4th, progression on last season, which is good after losing a couple of players, obviously losing Endrick and moving on from a couple of players. Let's see who is in charge. Is it still Van Persie? It is still Robin Van Persie. Love that. I think I wanted to check, actually, I didn't check in Season 2 or Season 1, was the bank balance. That is a low bank balance. That is not good. Let's hopefully, though, that's because they've been making signings. If I'm lucky, that's what the answer will be. Probably not. It turned out they've sold everyone, and I'll be completely wrong. But in terms of lost in the FA Cup semi-final, so no trophy there. Did we... I guess they didn't really win anything else because the Champions League... Oh, the South American, European champ, whatever. Okay, fair enough, if you're happy. Random game to play. I didn't even know that existed. Premier League, Champions League. So they lost to Bayern Munich in the... What round is that? What round is that? It's round of 16, isn't it? Round of 16 there it is. They got into the playoff, which isn't good enough really. Should be getting in the top 8. They lost to... So they beat Rennes, then they lost to Bayern Munich, which, you know what, fair enough. Bremner scored again. He seems to have turned into a world-class centre-forward, in all honesty. Proper centre-forward. Good signing from me. I made this signing, so I'm going to claim it. 39 goals in 108 games for the club. I'm very happy with that move indeed. Let's see what sort of team they've been playing. And there's a name missing. There is a name not in that list that is worrying. And he's a Dutchman, sold by a Dutchman. Is Canafo gone? He's not. He's out on loan at AC Milan. Have they got an option so they can sign him for 63 million if they win Serie A? Did they do it? No, they finished second. So odds are he probably won't get that move. He's played lots of games for them. I think that's probably fair enough. I think a loan makes sense. Signings for Jeremy Monga. He's the 15-year-old, is he, right now for Leicester? He looks really good, actually. 24.5 million for a homegrown player. I like it a lot. Other signings for Kondo Varela, a youngster from Argentina. That's a signing I would make. He's already worth an awful lot and is fantastic. Another central midfielder, though. I feel like we've got too many of those, I guess, with Canafo leaving. Yildirim Demir sounds like another new gen. He certainly is a new gen centre-half. Probably a Parola replacement, although he's already left. £13 million, played 10 games and they sold him within 6 months, I'm guessing. What a wonderful transfer. Joaquin Molina, another youngster, young right-winger, fair enough. David Gallagher, sounds English. He is English. He is... Oh, Porto, okay, interestingly enough. Left-back, fair enough. That was a position I would have targeted not long in the future, I think. Especially with Churkin leaving. And then Desiree Doué, who in this universe went back to Red and has now gone out on loan to Burnley for the season. I like that. That's a fun one. Option to buy maybe. £49 million will not be getting that picked up. Holy moly. Interesting player to have. I'm not sure he's particularly useful in the squad that we have here, but fair enough. So interesting. No Champions League. No more trophies after the Europa League win. Any other players there? I mean, looking there, it's interesting that Jose Manuel's still playing. He's still in around the squad. Neil Douglas is not a name I recognise. I wonder actually if that was a transfer we didn't see from the end of the season before. It was. So £40 million, give or take, from Fulham for an England... Is he an international? He is an international. He's actually quite nice. That's a good signing. I like that a lot. Played about a year out in Croatia. Interesting. But a good left-back. Looks really good. Can't really cross particularly well, but I don't think that tends to make a big issue depending on how you play your full-backs. Any other sales I've not seen? Interesting sales. Pavlovic left, but he obviously wasn't one of ours. Demir, again, 2 minutes after signing, he was left again. Stavros Kyriaki was a young player I'd never talked about, but I actually thought he had a potential. My worry was that he's only 5'3" and can only jump like literally just off the ground. So not particularly much excitement for him. The name I am seeing though is, where is John Edwards? He's wanted by someone else. Surely you wouldn't sell him because he's homegrown. He just hasn't developed. He's not been playing really at all. I mean, he's played 23 games this season, but 18 off the bench. He's never really had that season after we had him, and we played him an awful lot. What was the season we would have had him? I guess actually maybe we didn't play him that much. I only said played 10 games that season, but we would have played him more. He would have been in my team, I think, probably in that season after. With actually, hold on, there's a player left that I haven't even talked about. Where is Monchu? Did I miss Monchu leaving and just didn't even talk about him? Where is he? Monchu? No, this is all my transfer. Where is Monchu? Am I being really blind? He must have been released. Was he retired? Where is Monchu? No. Oh, there he is. Released. There he is. He has left. He's at Lazio on a free. That's heartbreaking. He felt like a player I would have kept hold of. I would have sold him probably. But that is... I mean, he's really fallen off a cliff physically. But what a servant for the club he was. In fairness to him, that season we left, he had a fantastic season. And he had injuries that year as well. He was brilliant. Monchu was really good. One of my favourite signings of the save, I think, Monchu. And yeah, I'm happy that he's gone off and he's now playing for Lazio. I guess we'll see where he goes. Madueke on a free. Heartbreaking. I mean, pay £35 million for him. I would never have let him go on a free. Absolutely not. You'd have got money for him, absolutely. That's a shame, really, because I really thought he had something, but I guess it happens. But yeah, season 3, sorry, not a massive success. It's interesting that still a few of our players are still here. Militic still here, who I've got a feeling he might move on in the not too distant future. He's on massive money now, £300,000 a week. He has to be, because he's one of the best midfielders on the planet. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him leave at some point. That will be that's one to keep an eye on. I'm really going to keep an eye. I think Militic's career, I think we'll see how he goes. Other than that, it's still very similar. The squad, do you think 3 years after I've left, there's still what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the starting 11 of players that I brought in. We did all right. We did all right. I'm pleased with how we left the squad. It seems to have held on pretty well. But one more year, well, we've got 2 more years left. It will be interesting to see if Van Persie can move them up from 4th back into being title challengers. Because that's the challenge. I mean, they've not really hit the heights that we had when I was there. So it'll be interesting to see how this Burnley squad does in another year. Well, here we are then, 1st of May 2032. So this is season 4, only 1 more year after this. Liverpool winning the Champions League again, beating Man City in the final. Means that Burnley didn't quite manage to get himself back to it. Let's see what round they made it to. Semi-final? No. Quarter-final? Maybe? No. Round of 16? They lost to Sociedad on penalties. A team that we beat on the way to winning it way back when. I've just noticed there the top scorer was a player we nearly signed at Burnley. Yeah, I mean, annoying to go there. Let's see who the manager is of Burnley Football Club. Don't look at the squad just yet. Andoni Iraola, which means... Does it mean that Van Persie was sacked? That's not the answer. That's not going to tell me. Manager's where I want to go. Van Persie was sacked. Now, when was he sacked? Recently, so March. Let's see how they got on towards March. Was form that bad? So they lost the Champions League in March, and it looks like he probably didn't even get the second leg. No, he did. He got the second leg, but he got out of the Champions League, and I imagine that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, because they finished in 10th. That is, I mean, absolutely that players. That is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal. Like, that team should never be finishing 10th. This team, if I walk back into this team now, in a season we'd win the league again. Interestingly, they've gone back to the 4-2-3-1. Has form picked up? Actually, was what I was going to check there as well. With Iraola in charge, not really. It's been spotty at best. We're winning home games, but we just can't pick up a game away from home at all. Conceding lots of goals hasn't been good enough. So let's have a look at this squad and see who's still here. So Militic is still here. Canafo's back out on loan again, this time to Sociedad, who then knocked them out of the Champions League. So clever there from whoever got rid of him. In terms of this lineup, Max Johnson's still here at 30. Good, I mean, good to see him still there. Bar, Parola. I mean, Douglas was one they signed in the second season. Martel is still here, who I thought I saw him leave. But okay, no, he's still at the club. There was a little... No, I did see a news article saying he'd gone to Barcelona, but clearly that was just a case of a bid, so he hasn't gone anywhere. Mile Militic is still here, and he's gone back to his best position, which is in that 10 role. And did he have a good season again? I mean, look, he's having good seasons every year. He's averaging over 10 goal involvements a season, which is a little lower than where you'd want to see him, but it's not horrendous. In terms of signings, how did we get on this year? Let's see the back end of last year. No one came in. Any sales? No one that we didn't know about. Ins. Outs we'll do first. Who has left? So Guindo has left. 31 years old, £40 million nearly for PSG. Yeah, 50 million nearly in the end, actually. For only 10 appearances for them, not even. 3 starts. Really good, actually giving that really good deal there. Anyone else? Vieira left on a free. Oh, Fabio Vieira was good, but he was 33, 34, so I don't disrespect that as a move. Jeremy Monga, that is a disappointing one, has gone to Roma and will be joining them permanently for £40 million. So I guess it's a good profit. On a player who's only made 10 appearances, I guess that's not the end of the world. You have to take those. Anyone else? No one else there's left by looks of Eklund's out on loan again. I mean, yeah, there's no one there. Canafo, obviously, we've talked about. Ins, it looks like New Gen Central. Giuseppe Pompilio's come... Pompilio? Is that how you say that? Right back. Interesting. Maybe that means that Jose Manuel's not playing quite as much. Where is he? Jose Manuel hasn't really developed. This is the thing, since we left, no one's really gone on and developed massively attributes-wise. Jose Manuel had a good season. I don't know why he wouldn't just... If it was me now, Jose Manuel would have been my right back for the last 2 years. 2-3 years would have been my right back. Wouldn't have thought twice. Would have sold Johnston. Would have bought a young right back under Manuel and just had Manuel play right back. Other than that, any other signings? Darami still being here surprises me. I mean, his contract is... He's got a year left in his contract. Wanted by Chelsea. I would be getting out of Dodge. I'd be set. If they want to offer us the higher of that, I'd be letting him leave. But Darami's still here. Bremner's still here as well, who I'm surprised hasn't been getting more interest. Because he scores 20 goals a season. I mean, 24 goals in all competitions. I am shocked he's still a Burnley player, in all honesty. I'm guessing it's a case of no one wanting to pay the money for him. One player actually I did want to check, and we used Darami to find it, because I wanted to find how Endrick has got on. He has been good. Who is he wanted by? Real Madrid. 109 million. They've really not... I mean, he's been good. He's been good for Chelsea. Not necessarily £200 million good, but pretty good. He's been all right. Other than that, Burnley moves. Anyone else here in the squad? John Edwards isn't playing still. Just at 24, he hasn't developed. He's sort of still the player he was 2 years ago. His passing's never got that much better. He's a good player. Do you know what? He's homegrown Champions League player. For me, I wouldn't sell him for anything. There wouldn't be an amount of money. I'd keep him, play him enough, keep him going. I mean, look, 34 appearances now. He's starting to break into the team. I think that's a really good, really good sign. Anyone else here that we recognise? Where is Miranda? He's been injured. Okay, he's another one to keep an eye on. Him, Canafo, and Militic, and John Edwards are the 4 that I'm really keen to see how they get on. Andre Brito is an interesting player that I signed and hasn't got any better either. But yeah, interesting. Not a lot else happening there. The FA Cup, I take it we didn't win the FA Cup. I didn't see it there actually. No, out of the FA Cup, early doors. Actually, I don't even have it on, so it's not going to know. Yeah, early doors, 4th round. I thought I saw. Oh, no, 5th round. 5th round lost to Brentford. So no trophies. Van Persie's gone. One last season then to skip ahead with Iraola in charge. I don't know quite how much better this team's going to get. I'm not sure if he's got the money. There's a lot to think about. I'm not sure. I mean, look, the bank balance is not very good at all. I'm wondering if this club just can't support the level of wages. I mean, look at the wages being paid, man. Oh my gosh, I hadn't even looked at that. I mean, most of the players are on decent wages. I would never be paying Martel £200,000 a week. Wouldn't have happened. Barbie on a good wages is fine, man. I mean, a lot of these are fine, but like, I mean, that shocked me. The Martel, he's on too much money. Varella's on too much. Militic has to be on that much because he's bloody fantastic. But yeah, not great squad management. I mean, I'm not surprised because Foot Manager's AI squad management is horrendous. I'm going to say it, it's honesty. And it'll be interesting. One more year. We're going to jump forward again. Last year, I think they actually don't have any Europe next season, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can do anything more. I'd be saying top 5 is a minimum. They have to be getting top 5 minimum. Otherwise, I could see Areola probably going too. Risky. We'll see what happens. Right, here we are then. Last season, we're going to check up on the Burnley boys. Can't see anyone here. I can't see Burnley in this set of available jobs, so to me it suggests that maybe Areola kept his job. I've got them lined up. I haven't actually seen where they finished. 3rd. We're going to cut straight to that. 3rd in the league. I mean, Chelsea have had an absolute stormer to win the league this season. Burnley 3rd, though. I think that's a massive step up. A good way to end the last season. Is that 6 teams in the Champions League, by the way? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 6 English teams in the Champions League. Burnley, though, how did they get on in terms of transfers first, then? Let's have a look and see what we did transfer-wise. So, in the last season, did we bring anyone else in before the season ended? No, no one there. So, Diego, love that, good name. Spanish defensive midfielder, very nice little defensive midfielder for 23 years old. Tries killer balls off and clearly a playmaker of some kind. Pretty good. Next one, Hezi Grimwade. Let's go for that. I think it looks like he might be a real player. He looks pretty good for a left winger, homegrown. Has done pretty well for £7.25 million. A good signing. Rui Ray, a player I literally nearly signed on 3 or 4 occasions. Joins from Brazil. £9.25 million. A good signing. Hasn't played at all, really. But as depth, pretty good. 24 years old. Take those. Another signing, Ernad Gig. He's just backup goalkeeper. We won't look at them too long. Michele Zanioli. Joined for Liverpool on loan. Looks like he'll be joining permanently on a... Is that what I'm seeing here? Is it £65 million? Holy moly, that's a big signing. That is an expensive signing. Yeah, £65 million. For a player who has played 12 games? I mean, I would hope that's a January signing. It is a January signing. Okay, so that's not quite so bad. 12 games from January is not bad. And then Juan Yakov. Never seen that name before, but okay. New gen from Argentina. Attacking midfielder. Hopefully doesn't mean I haven't even looked at the outs. Okay, there's not enough outs there to make that worth it. So, in terms of outs, Monga's gone. We know about that one. Eric Martel's left on a free. That's sort of heartbreaking, given that he was he was captain for a long time. I mean, but you can't really argue that. He gave him, 8 years of service? Like, he played how many games for Burnley? 276. Martel was just such an easy player to put in the team. So, okay, he signed him. In he goes. Never had unbelievable ratings. I mean, the season we won the Champions League, he had a good season. But he's pretty good, isn't he? For 33, he's even still good now. And that's it, really. No more exciting transfers. It feels like they haven't really splashed out any cash. The value's dropped in half since it was £1 billion when I left. The bank balance is minus £250 million. This Burnley squad is potentially in some financial trouble coming up soon. Maybe that's why they haven't made many transfers. because there is just not a lot. I mean, the new signing, Luis, is already leaving for Juventus. That is just another fantastic signing. Shake my head. Interesting, Bremner's looking like he might leave off to Liverpool or is that Inter or Juventus? I can't remember. Blue Nary's into man, isn't it? Militic still here. No signs of him going anywhere. 24. I mean, he's had a good season. 21 goals. The move to attacking midfielders clearly suited him. I mean, the year he was with us, where is that? 27, 28. First season he was there. Had a good. He's only just scored more than that now, so fair enough. Other than that, John Edwards is playing. I love to see it. I love to see John Edwards playing. That's wonderful. He's a player I would love to just see his career. He's brilliant. I like him in there. Other than that, players in here that we recognise. Jose Manuel's now out on loan. He's gone to Rennes, a club who were tycoon takeover. So they've spent pretty significantly, I think, in the first couple of seasons they had the owner. 135 million there in France. That's a shame. Jose Manuel, again, would have just been my right back. I don't know why he's why Iraola's messed with it still. Who I just going to double check. He is still in charge. Yeah, Iraola's still in charge. I mean, he's been charged, what now, for over a year? I think Johnny Evans was the manager at one. Oh, different Johnny Evans. Fair enough. Iraola's in charge still. That's fair enough. I think they've been pretty good. Look, they might have won something. FA Cup winners. Okay, finished the last season with a trophy. Was just going to check that. Burnley win the FA Cup, beat Liverpool in extra time. Mohamed Darami, who's still here at 33, is leaving though. He's off to Saudi Arabia. Fair play to him. He's off there from a free. Good signing, been brilliant. And Burnley end the save off with another FA Cup win. Obviously, we won it in the year we won the treble. And they've just about snuck in there. Let's have a look and see. Obviously, they didn't have any Europe, so that is literally just the only trophy that they would have won. Other than the Carabao, which we can't see either. Did they win the Carabao? No, looks like they were out of that pretty quickly. 4th round on penalties to Liverpool. So, got their revenge in the FA Cup. Fair enough. A decent run in the FA Cup as well. Chelsea, Arsenal, not an easy run. Liverpool in the final. Iraola has succeeded, I'd say, there. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think he's done a pretty good job. He's done all right. Given the fact the club look like they're in massive financial trouble. I mean, let's have a look. Let's add a manager. And maybe take Iraola out, actually. I would be interested to know what his transfer budget is. Would be really interested to know how much he's got to spend. Because the club is in... I mean, I can't see financials there at all. In debt. Finances in debt. So they're in big financial trouble. Big financial trouble. I think that's the headline. Is that maybe... I mean, it's not us, though. Because if you look, it's the wages that they're paying. When I left, the wages were really reasonable. None of these players were being paid ridiculous wages. I kept it well under the wage bill. I get the sense they've just sort of blown that wage bill up. Militic just had to take a wage decrease. I mean, how easy he's been convinced to take that and stay for another 4 years. Goodness knows. But if it's me, you've got to start selling again. I think the likes of Mamardashvili's 34, I'd be moving on. Big wages, you can do better than that for less than that. Johnston could leave. I mean, I'd be clearing house. I'd be losing most of this squad, and I wouldn't be paying £65 million for a defensive midfielder who, I'm honest, technically is rubbish. He's really not that good for Premier League level. He's good mentally, he's good physically, but not technically at all. You don't need it. You don't need it in the system you play. I think that's a really poor transfer, and I think the transfers have been pretty poor all the way through. Losing Endrick is fine. I could have seen that happening to us. Where is he here? Is he this season? No, it was the season after. I've gone way further back there. Where is the Endrick move? There it is. Endrick. He's gone to Chelsea. Been all right. I mean, I would have probably taken £200 million for him. But you've got to reinvest that in young players. I don't know why they have. It's like they've sort of delved into different transfer policies. I mean, 40 million Pavlovic was a mistake. To then sell him for less, almost half that the season after. Hoyson, 7 million lost on him. The transfers have been poor. They've been really poor. And I can't. I mean, sometimes there've been profits, but there's not been lots of them. The likes of Molina's decent. Demir, I mean, he left pretty quickly for less. They lost money there. Yeah, I've really not rated the transfers, in all honesty. Burnley, after we've left, have sort of regressed into a team that's still in the Champions League, so clearly we built a decent squad. But in reality, it hasn't been good enough at all for Burnley. Really hasn't performed very well at all. But anyway, if you've enjoyed that, that's the end of the Burnley series. New team coming soon, probably next week. And hopefully soon, actually, FM26 news soon as well. So let me know if you hit the last of this on this video. Please drop a like down below. And I will see you very shortly for something brand new.